Gout Gout was 1 month away from winning the World U20 200-meter title. He was the fastest under-20 sprinter ever, coming off a 19.67-second run that broke a record set back in 2022. Everyone expected him in Eugene. Then one training session in Brisbane ended his season before he ever got the chance to race for that title. For weeks, Gout Gout trained with one target in mind: Eugene, Oregon, the World U20 Championships, a title he had chased since finishing second at the last one 2 years earlier. Every session in Brisbane pointed toward August, and toward a gold medal he expected to be his. His coaches built his entire training block around peaking for one race, on one date, in one city. In 2024, at 16 years old, Gout ran 20.60 seconds and took silver at the World U20 Championships in Lima, finishing behind South Africa's Bayanda Walaza. 2 years later, he was faster, older, and far more experienced. This time, he was not chasing a medal. He was chasing gold, and everyone around the sport expected him to get it. In April, at the Australian Athletics Championships in Sydney, Gout ran the 200 meters in 19.67 seconds. That broke the world under-20 record of 19.69 seconds, a mark that had stood since 2022, set by American sprinter Erriyon Knighton. Knighton set that record in Eugene, Oregon, the exact city where Gout was about to race for World U20 gold. Gout was not just chasing a title in Eugene. He was chasing the ghost of the record he had already broken in the city where it was set. The run also broke the Australian national record and the Oceanian record. It put Gout 16th on the all-time world list for the 200 meters. At any age, junior or senior, grown men who have raced for a decade sit below him on that list. That single race changed everything people expected from him in Eugene. Usain Bolt ran 19.93 seconds at the same age, at the 2004 Commonwealth Games, 2 years before he became a household name. Gout had already beaten that time, and he did it before he could legally buy a drink in most countries. The greatest sprinter in history was slower as a teenager than Gout Gout is right now. That comparison alone turned Gout into a global name overnight. Some people online questioned the 1967 when it first came through. It looked too fast for a junior sprinter to run, and the doubt spread quickly on social media. World Athletics reviewed the performance frame by frame and ratified it as official. There was no controversy left after that, only a new world record, and Gout's name at the top of it, sitting above every junior sprinter who has ever raced the 200 meters. With that record behind him, Eugene was supposed to be a coronation. Gout backed up the 200 meters record with more speed in February. He ran 10.0 seconds in the 100 meters, tying the fastest legal time ever run by an Australian sprinter on home soil, and setting a new Australian under-20 record for that distance too. 2 events, 2 national marks, and a world under-20 record, all in one season, all before he turned 19. His name had already spread past track and field. Gout appeared on 60 Minutes in the United States, a program built around the biggest stories in the country, not usually a stage for junior sprinters from Australia. That is the level of attention following him into Eugene, not just from the athletics world, but from anyone who watches sports at all. Gout had already tested himself against senior competition before this year even started. At the World Championships in Tokyo, he made his senior global debut against athletes with a decade more experience than him. He pushed through the 200 meters heats and reached the semifinals before missing out on a place in the final. For an 18-year-old racing grown men on the biggest stage in the sport, that alone was a statement. It told the athletics world that Gout was not just a junior talent anymore. Last month, Gout made his Diamond League debut in the 200 meters. Gout revealed the scans showed a grade 3 tear in his hamstring, with more than 8 centimeters of the tendon affected. Part of the tendon had come apart. The damaged section made up less than 10% of the tendon's total width, but it stretched across a long section of muscle, which is what made the injury so serious. He shared the exact details from his own scan report, the kind of information athletes usually keep private. That is the injury that ended the season he had built entirely around one race in Eugene. Gout confirmed he will not compete at the World U20 Championships, the title he skipped the Commonwealth Games for, the title he was favored to win, off the back of a world record run in April. Gone before he ever stepped on that start line. Here's what makes this even harder for him. The World U20 Championships only happen once every 2 years. The next one is not until 2028, in a different city entirely. Erriyon, a 25-year-old who recently switched national allegiance from New Zealand to Australia, will headline the Australian sprint squad instead. racing in green and gold for the first time at a major championship. The team Gout gave up his spot on Will Compete without the sprinter who was supposed to be its biggest story this year. Gout said his focus now shifts entirely to rehab. The 1967 stays in the record books no matter what happens next. Nobody can take that run away from him. It is still the fastest 200 meters any under-20 sprinter has ever run, and it still sits above Usain Bolt's teenage best. But the World U20 title, the one this entire season was built around, is not something he can simply try again for next year. Gout Gout's season did not end with a loss on the track. It did not end in a photo finish or a disqualification or a bad start out of the blocks. It ended in a training facility in Brisbane on a night like any other. Before the race, the whole world was waiting to watch. He broke a record that had stood for 2 years. He beat a time Usain Bolt never touched as a teenager. He turned down a Commonwealth Games to chase a world title. And now, at 18 years old, his biggest challenge is not a 200-meter final. It is a torn hamstring that needs to heal before he can chase history again. That is what makes this injury hit so hard. Not just that he got hurt, but when. 1 month out, 1 race away, after skipping another championship specifically to be ready for this one. And because the World U20 Championships will not come around again until 2028, when he likely will not even qualify by age, this Eugene title chase may never get a second chance. What comes back in 2027 will not be the same race. It will be Gout Gout returning to senior competition, chasing new goals, with the one title everyone expected him to win still missing from his resume. Gout Gout's record-breaking season is over. The World U20 title he built the entire year around is gone, not delayed. What comes next, starting in 2027, is a different chapter entirely. Pin a comment. Do you think Gout Gout comes back in 2027 faster than ever? Or does this injury change his career path? Let us know below.